Looks like we got a new friend! Looks like we got a new friend! Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Conan Grains of Sand. Before we go around and say hello to all these wonderful people around the screen, please take a moment to look through the wall of text which the bot will be posting in chat now. It includes all of our social links, all of the places you can come and support us, all of our sponsor information, special offers available through the Academy, and all that good stuff. Big thank you to Bird and the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press who make the stream possible today. Yes, that is everything. Sad news, unfortunately, Natalie 2 cannot join us for the rest of the season. We won't go into details. There's no ill will or anything between all of us. Unfortunately, they had to step out of their own volition. Still, though, you should go and check them out. Let's do them a Twitter shout out there. Go and check out their content. They're still live in other places. Please go and check them out and support and continue to support them. Let's go around and say hello to everyone. Let's go anti-clockwise. Let's start with Sheepdog.
Hello, I am Sheepdog. I am here to play Hordur. Yes. I'm not sure which bit. It's been a couple of weeks. Which bits are we doing now? Are we doing the hello you can find me at, or are we just saying hey?
Bit of column A, bit of column B.
Hey! You can find me in the deserts.
Fantastic, thank you. I mean, even if I told you to introduce yourself, you'd just tell people that they wouldn't be able to find you, and then I'd post your links.
And then you'll put it in the chat anyway. And
yeah.
It's this whole dance we do. It's
yeah,
fun.
You know, it's such a devilish little dance.
Why must we do this dance?
Whew, anyway, is it me or is it hot in here? Next around, we have, spelt correctly in the overlay, I believe, Dark Aardvark Natalie! Welcome!
Yes, hello, I am Natalie, also known as Dark Aardvark, with an underscore in there, as it is on the overlay. For Twitter, that's the best place to find me, and I am playing Tiliang tonight, and I quite adore her, so I'm looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it too. And last around, we have the grinning insanely, Torn Pixie. Oh, hi!
Hi. Ignore my little shenanigans over here. I'm having some issues. Hi, I'm Torn Pixie. You can find me at Torn Pixie Twitch on Twitter and Instagram, and Torn Pixie on Facebook. And I'm playing Mimir. My brain's kind of frazzled right now, so just I think. Today.
Indeed. What happened last time? It was 2 weeks ago, so why don't we do a little bit of a collaborative recall. It wasn't last week that someone got shot, it was the week before, right? Last week was mainly training and awakenings and all of that sort of thing. The princess did some growing up, Hoda did some training, as did Mimir. And Tiliang did some recon, right?
Yeah.
Got the bow back, I think.
Got her bow back.
That was it.
Learned something. Hello. Oh, I drank water and felt compelled to tell a story.
Oh, yeah.
That happened. I think the princess was the only one that heard that, though.
I think Elandra heard it, but she's
Possibly.
here, so.
Let me see.
And I'm pretty sure Tiliang is resolved to pay back Horder for the
Yes,
for the bar.
that is absolutely correct.
Yes.
She scored for that.
Also, last time we had the priest revealing the head of the youngest of the royal family, which began the princess's fervor to take you all more seriously and heed your advice and implore you to help her.
Seriously.
Yeah. So we'll start in the camp as we normally would. It would seem that in the night Elandra has snuck away. Perhaps they have had a more lucrative offer of work, or perhaps they have heard tales of some legend more interesting, or perhaps the princess just annoyed them so much, or maybe got a bit too close that they decided it was time to leave. Either way, when you wake up in the morning, they are missing. Who would be first to rise?
We're still doing princess training, so crack of dawn.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mimir would be up as well because they've got the kids also.
I believe the princess actually slept outside the tent. If I remember correctly, didn't she sit outside the front door, head bowed, trying to stay awake, I think? Or not able to sleep, at least.
Yeah.
And so, Hodor, when you wake up, you will find the princess sort of slumped on themselves, asleep.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go to the place we train and wait. Let's see when she wakes up.
Okay. Fantastic.
You've got to go back into it, Scrap.
Mimir also up at crack of dawn?
Yes. You sure that we don't want to have her stretch a bit when she finally gets up there?
Well, if she is training with the children in the wall, then she can stretch if she likes.
Excuse me a second. All
I
right.
hear thunder.
Oh God, that was audible. Sorry. I'll mute next time.
It's okay, it's fine.
I got invaded by toddlers earlier, so apologies. Mimir's gonna go wake her up.
How do you do so?
You coddle her.
I think Mimir's gonna start by just like shaking her shoulder and like gently pushing her head up.
As you touch her shoulder, she sort of like opens one eye and is like, Mimir? Daylight! Oh!
Not quite. Break of dawn. Why'd you sleep outside?
I couldn't sleep.
Oh. I can't say that's not a thing you wouldn't deal with on the field, so up and at it.
Okay. And she groggily rises, fetching the training materials that you had started providing. You started putting them in pads and stuff after the injury, correct? Did you do that with the princess, or did you leave her unpadded?
Well, she wasn't really getting hit except for by me, so.
Probably should have.
She didn't need pads for that particularly.
She runs and stands in front of you.
Me or Mimir?
You, Hoda.
Okay.
Whilst she's grateful to Mimir, she says, "Thank you, Mimir. I would have hated to have overslept," and rushes across to stand in front of you, Hoda. And you can see she's sort of like bleary-eyed. She probably looks a lot like we do after a 30-hour stint. You know that.
30 hours, easy.
You still look like shit.
I think we were told that we are calling you by a different name, but I cannot remember what that means.
Oh. It meant hope.
Yes.
What was that?
Well, for now, I will call you Hope. It works for me.
Right. Zero.
We got it.
Not yet, but we will do very shortly. I've realised I don't have my rulebook out, and that could be fatal.
Okay.
Hi.
Mommy says
Is it-
can we leave?
I don't know. You need to go.
Is it Thera or is it like Kyra?
I thought it was Syra.
Syra?
I might be misremembering.
I think Cyra's correct.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, Syra, then it works. Fine. I understand you've been having problems figuring out how to enlist our help without seeming weak or controlled or whatever.
Yes, Hodia. I appreciate you, I really do, and I would accept your help in an instant with no conditions, but I want it to be both worthwhile for you as people. I know you want to return home, and at the same time, I need my people to respect me.
Yes, well, there is not really anything you can offer me, I don't think. To get me to join. There's not really much I want, but I have thought of an idea that might help. I think today I will put that into action. So I will be training the children, I'll be training the young warriors to begin with, and I think we should have Mimir train you a little bit today.
Okay, you don't wish me to stand still any longer?
Oh, it depends how Mimir wants to train you, to be honest. I would not presume to dictate to Mimir what the best training is for you. So, however Mimir wants to do it is fine by me. But start by standing still, and then Mimir will come over and will instruct you on how to train.
Before she begins standing still, she touches your shoulder, much like one would a uncle or father figure, and says, "Okay." As she stands still, awaiting Mimir now.
Seeing as it probably won't be for very long, do it on one foot.
Without hesitation, she raises one leg.
Try and keep your balance.
She's alternating between her leg being bent in front of her and crooked behind her as she's trying to keep her balance.
I poke her with my stick.
She hits the deck.
Keep trying.
Yes, she scrambles back up and goes for the other foot this time.
And then I'll walk over to Mimir. Mimir, I have a favor to ask of you.
Yes.
When you're ready. I would like for you to train the princess this morning, and I will take the young warriors.
Okay. I think that could be good.
I trust you to do what you think is best. You do not have to carry on my training. And train her hard. She asked for it. Do not go soft on her. Use my whacking stick.
If needed, yes.
I actually give you my staff.
Okay. I generally do a bit of time where the girls are training amongst each other on their own. I think that is important for them.
Well,
just as a heads up.
I will be taking them today, so they will learn to train the Hode way.
Oh, fun.
Yes. We will
I see lots of bruises in the future.
Maybe.
Just see the whole line of them standing still.
I'm gonna wander over to the kids and wait for them to be ready.
Mimir. Let's see. What did you train the children in previously? I believe I've got it in my notes here somewhere. It just might take me a second to flick across to the page for it. But I believe it was
I thought we were doing a lot of the base stuff because a lot of them had stuff just didn't even have the base stuff. The girls had a little bit more in their stuff, a little bit more on self-defense, and then taking the offensive when they need to with that.
Yeah, I remember there being...
there was a shield huddle, yeah.
Yeah,
shield wall.
We did the shield wall. That was one thing that we definitely did. I remember there being some things that you trained them in. I'm sure it was like Warcraft or... no, it was conditioning training, wasn't it? You were training them in fortitude or the equivalent stat. That I recall.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've not had a lot of discipline training yet. So they sort of are yawning and stretching, taking to the field, sort of much like preschoolers say, rather than school kids. They just sort of like making their way onto the field, gathering their things and putting them on in sort of a huddle.
Are they putting on their, like, protective...
Yes.
Oh yeah, and Tiliang did show off the bow skills, which rolled really well as well, so that was cool. Line up then. I am taking you for training today.
They line up as if to go into a shield wall.
And I'm gonna start, like, very slightly pacing up and down in front of them.
Looks like we got
Okay, so, you have learned the shield wall. This is good. When you are called on to do it, you can get defensive, get in a huddle, and you will be protected from a charge, from arrows, and these kind of things. Another thing you should learn is how to work together to win a battle, to win a fight. So, who knows anything about thunder and lightning?
One of the youngest pipes up and says, "Magic sent by the gods."
Yes, well, we'll come back to that. Anyone else?
Now one of the oldest, I do not know, Hodir. Is it not magic sent by the gods? How can you predict where lightning will strike or when thunder will roll?
Exactly. So, What is it about thunder and about lightning that scares us, that impresses us, that you have thunder with the noise, and then you have lightning with the flash and the fire, yes?
Some of the smaller kids do impressions like boom and things like that.
Yes, that is the basics of it. But thunder, it comes first, it grabs your attention, and it is loud and it's scary. And then the lightning, it flashes, it hits fast, and it sets a fire. These are two basic elements of warfare. So, one way to fight is to scare your enemy, to build yourselves up and to all smack your shields together. It is also useful for a distraction if you need it. So, sometimes when you're in the shield wall and you're facing off against the enemy, you should be smacking your shields hard with your weapons. Like, okay, all of you get together, shield wall.
They jump into the shield wall as you taught them?
Okay, so now, take your haft of your weapon, or your stick, whatever it is you have, and just start pounding in time with everyone else.
How can I describe how this sounds? Sheepy, have you ever conducted an orchestra consisting of kids of various ages?
I have never done that, weirdly enough.
It's an interesting thing. The older ones have an understanding of rhythm, but the younger ones tend to get really excited and sort of go at their own pace. So what you get is a jumble of noises. It's less like the clapping in time and more like an applause, where there's just thumps hitting at all different times.
Okay, stop. So, I need two of the older warriors on each side of the shield wall. Go, quickly.
Snotty takes one end, Yorick takes the other.
Okay, so, those of you on the sides, you keep in time with those two. You bash your shield when they bash their shield, and it goes into the middle. And everyone should bash at the same time. Give it a go.
Okay, could you make a command roll for me, please, Sheepy?
All
Look at
right.
me memorizing the rolls. I didn't even need to look that up. By the end of this campaign, I might know how to play this game.
One.
With a success, that's a perfectly good success. They all sort of are watching, and as the two older boys lead, it sort of ripples into the middle, and you get this succinct funk, 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 and the older boys take them a little bit faster, and it sounds quite effective.
Okay. No, that's good. So you add in a little bit of yelling, shouts of what you're going to do to your enemy, graphic images, like slicing, that kind of thing, and that gets the enemy worried. And sometimes you will feel the berserk rage that comes on from battle. We'll work each other up, and there you go. So that's the first thing. That's the thunder. Now for the lightning, and he kind of like instinct is look around, even though he can't, see anyone. Is Tiliang around?
Is Tiliang awake yet? We're probably about...
Yes, she
Yeah?
would have woken up not too long after, probably around the time that the princess was getting woken up, and gone to get breakfast and stuff for the other trainer people, since she doesn't do any of that.
Okay. Tiliang, are you here?
Yes,
Could I borrow you for a moment, please?
certainly.
Okay. So if you set up behind the shield wall, one of you younger warriors, could you put, I don't know, a little sack or something out in the middle of the field in front of you? So just get that done And okay, now I need 2 of you with a shield. You place it on the ground. Tiliang, you step on the shield. They will lift you up over the shield wall quickly. You'll take a shot at the sack. Is everyone down for this?
Sure.
Okay. So the basic exercise is there's the shield wall, and then behind, Tiliang steps on the shield. 2 people lift above the shield wall, takes a shot, lift back down.
Okay, so they will try to do this.
Yes.
I have a suspicion this is going to be like a warfare role or something. It seems like you're teaching them tactics, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you make me both a warfare roll and a tactics roll? And each success will be the amount of levels they gain in this.
Is there a tactics roll?
No.
Warfare, I guess, includes
Warfare,
tactics.
yeah. Warfare and command. That'd be ideal.
I'll use a momentum as well for this, I think.
Of course.
My warfare is not amazing.
Ooh, critical success. That should be... Unless you have 0 in warfare. Do you have 0 focus in warfare?
I think I have 1.
Oh, that should be 2 successes then. So they'll gain 2 levels in warfare, and can I grab a commander as well, please?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so they get it. They really get it, but they sort of stop listening and start working it out for themselves. You know that moment when you give a group of people a problem and they stop listening to the instructor and start getting it themselves? That's how this goes.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay, why don't we pan across to Mimir? I am intrigued as to how Mimir will take Ford Hodia's training of, formerly Christinia, now Syra.
Alright. So I guess first thing first is get used to your name, which is Syra now.
Sorry for the inconvenience. She's still standing on one leg.
Go ahead, put your leg down. It's been a while.
And she puts her hands behind her back, getting ready to stand still, it looks like.
I'm gonna go ahead and set down the staff. We're not gonna be using this. There's been enough of that. What you need is a stick.
I get a stick too?
You get a stick.
Should I pick anyone in particular? A heavy one? A light one?
One you think you could wield.
She'll go across and, she's going to pick what would be the training sword equivalent of a bastard sword. 1.5 hand, big stick. And she sort of half drag, half carries it. She like lifts it up for some of it and then ends up dragging it some of it and goes...
Are you sure that is the right weapon for you?
You can see, by the time she's got to you, she's already questioning it and thinks she's come too far to change it. Maybe I should have gone for something lighter, but I want to be a warrior.
A warrior does not always need the biggest stick, so to speak. There is a time and a place for each weapon. If you want to start with that, we will start with that. Those are usually slow, powerful attacks.
I don't have a lot of muscle.
You will tire fast.
Hang on, let me pick another. And she runs back over to the training weapons rack and returns this time with the equivalent of like a short sword, maybe 1.5 foot long. It's just a stick, but it would be used as a short sword in training. And she runs back across with this. And okay, I think this is much better.
Okay, Mimir's gonna have one that is roughly the size of a dagger. All right, now you attack me. Well,
Sorry?
what are you doing standing there? You attack.
She sort of like steps towards you and tentatively, gently.
He steps in and disarms her and then has the dagger at her throat. Yeah, that was an attack. You need to attack like your life's in danger.
How?
Oh boy. Let's start with you getting angry first. I am sure some stuff happened when you were young that made you very angry.
Some stuff happened yesterday that made me very angry.
All right, I'll grab that. And then attack me.
She gathers the stick, but like stops again and says, "But Mimir, you're training me. I shouldn't be angry at a teacher."
You're not angry at me, you're angry at whatever you're angry at. Because I guarantee when an assassin comes for you, or when you're in battle, you will be angry then too. And those people that you will be facing, they will not be your teacher at that moment.
Mimir, I would like a roll. I'm not exactly sure what role I want yet, but I know I want one. I'm fairly sure there's one that suits my needs. Could you please give me a counsel or discipline roll?
Oh,
One is in personality, the other in willpower.
where's that? Hold on, I'm missing a thing here. What is going on? There we go. 1 or 2 die on that one?
Should be 2 die.
Okay.
Although usually if you... There you go. Oh, wow. Okay, so critical success, 2 successes. Is that a legitimate 2 successes, or is that supposed to be more than 2? What's your focus in discipline?
2.
2. Okay, so I think that should actually be 3 successes. With 3 successes, she stops for a moment and sort of closes her eyes. She goes a little stiff for a moment. You see her knuckles tighten on the stick. And then she opens her eyes and rushes you.
Right. She rushes in, I'm gonna wrap her knuckles.
Okay, can you please make me a melee attack? With a 0 successes, you don't hit her knuckles, but she also doesn't have enough successes to make a successful attack on you, so she meets your blade. And the loud clack happens in the square, and as soon as the loud clack happens, it almost snaps her back out of her momentary rage, and she looks stunned.
That was good. That's very good.
I'm sorry.
I would say no apologies. Now, I would say try not to stiffen your hand on your blade the way you did just then, because that's going to compromise your ability to move. It affects your range.
So
Now let's do that again.
hold it loosely?
Not too loose. But you also don't want to hold it so tight that your knuckles are all white.
But you said to get angry.
Yes, get angry. But the anger isn't in your hand. The anger is in your heart. And in your mind. Your body is still loose. A loose body will move fluid. It's harder to hit.
I'll try and remember that. And, do you know, she's actually a surprisingly quick learner. She takes the things... It's not necessarily that she's a natural, not in any meaning of the word, but when you tell her things, she's very amenable to suggestion. When you suggest a way she can improve, she genuinely tries to do it, and is fairly good at replicating your instructions. I would say within a few hours you could get her at least to nearly one of the children's level of sparring.
Well, I can say one thing. You're going to be a good ruler if you get there, because you are a good listener.
Flushes red. Straight away. Not expecting this compliment at all. Goes a bit sheepish. I'm not used to compliments during training, Mimir.
Hodir, his training is very, very different. And that is one thing that is going to be different from one teacher to next. It is rare to have a teacher that teaches the same as another. I think it is a good thing.
For a moment, there's like a haunted expression on her face as she looks across at Hodir, training the children. It's like, yes, very different. But it's not necessarily fear, as fear tinged with respect.
Alright. I think now would be a good time for you to switch to another weapon, to work on that a bit. Having a well-rounded ability to work means that when you find yourself in a situation, you are able to use what's available.
I think I'd like to go for something light, but longer range. When I get close to you, you best me with the dagger easily.
She picks up she for now, picks up the staff and hands it over to the princess. Here, Syra, try that. Using a staff is very different because you can spin it. You can use either end. You can extend it out.
She experimentally tries to spin it, and it sort of gets tangled on her wrist, and she drops it.
It will take practice, and that right there is one of the reasons why you do not want a stiff hand. That is one of the reasons why you want a looser body, because it is easier to move with the speed you need to keep the rotation.
And she just takes the stick and starts turning it over in her hand. The problem is, though, she's trying to spin it one-handed. So she's trying to, like, spin it and then is sort of, like, coming back on herself. And
Okay. Mimir grabs another large enough to be a staff stick. Follow me, and he's going to walk her through doing figure 8 exercises and big circles to either side.
Mm-hmm. This almost doesn't feel like fighting.
It is very similar to dancing, yes. Good dancers are often good warriors.
When you say that, it's like something clicks, and she's like, oh! Like dancing lessons, and she immediately gets more fluid as she steps onto her balls of her toes, and you can see she's had some sort of training in perhaps not the most fluid of dancing. She seems to wiggle her hips a lot more than do anything else, but
it should be a bit distracting.
That is the way she was trained to dance. Well, I'm going to keep that until someone digs for it. But she wiggles around a lot and bends her knees a little and is on the ball of her toes. And her steps become almost sinuous as she starts doing the figure of 8 and big sweeps. Is that better?
That's better. I believe it will work really well if most of your opponents are male.
Looks at you quizzically.
It is quite distracting the way you move your hips, and just I don't think I've ever seen someone move sinuous while fighting. It's quite confusing.
Oh. Should I stop it?
No, use it. Use it.
She's flushed again, but doesn't want to ask any questions. I think I'd like to try one of the long swords.
Okay.
And she goes over and selects one of the almost reed-like 4-foot-long sticks.
Mimir's gonna find one similar. These are a bit different to work with. These are usually quick strikes. You won't be using the edge of the blade so much with a weapon that matches this. It's more you will be poking lots of holes.
Okay. I like the look of this because I used to dance with, reeds sometime. I was going to say poles and I stopped myself.
He's gonna go ahead and take a fencer type pose with it. This is a standard stance. It's a good place to start.
And are you like 50-50 weight distribution, that sort of thing?
Mm-hmm.
She tries to
more like 40 front, 50 back.
She tries to copy you, but she looks a little awkward. Okay, I'm ready.
Well, on this one he's gonna attack. They, she, them.
Genders.
I'll get it.
I have the same struggle. It's okay. Okay, please attack. Would that be melee with the weapon you're using?
I believe so. It's essentially a fencer's rapier, but a reed. Okay, that is the mistake there.
Oof. No holding back.
He's been distracted. It's not happening again.
Yeah, she doesn't stand a chance against that. She gets her blade. Her blade sort of whips around her. She doesn't try to block your strike at all. It just sort of moves around her body as she more tries to dodge than anything else. And where do you strike her?
You can only dodge so long. You will tire out fast that way. You need to not just meet my attacks and avoid them. You need to push them away.
I'll try harder. I like this weapon. It feels more natural.
Well, then you definitely did not want the claymore you were going for earlier. Bastard swords and all that, they look really cool, but they are not for many.
I've seen my father wield one. Shall we go again?
Again.
And as you continue to train, the princess improves, but her style is very unique. She bends and sways more than she strikes or counter thrusts. Sort of when she does strike, her rapier, I guess, moves more like a snake's tongue than a fencer's riposte or anything like that. I'm trying to think of a good example of people who fight like this in real life for comparison. I can't think of them right now, but I will have one for you next week. But you could almost say that her moves are almost snake-like.
Okay. Yeah, he'd be getting frustrated with that.
You seem angry, Mimir.
No, not angry, frustrated. Where I come from, we do not have people that fight quite in that style at all, so this is very different for me as well. I believe we might be training each other.
You must jest, but I appreciate the gesture. Why don't we pan across to Tiliang? How's Tiliang been spending the morning? Except for, of course, helping train the kids.
Sort of just taking it in, like, low-key, just kind of like, she'll see, like, somebody do a move that she thinks is cool, and we'll, like, look around, and if nobody's really watching her, we'll, like, try it out a couple times, and just, but mostly just enjoying the show.
How did the Tiliang shield lifting go?
Not the best. I suppose with their first attempt at it, they often didn't bring their shields up in time. There's a lot of false starts here. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah. Well, these are ways to use the shield wall in battle. So you'll need practice with them. You'll need discipline. You'll need to try them more than once. There's one other one, which is similar, but it basically involves you create a hole in the wall when you were in melee, and you have someone behind with a spear or like a long polearm, and you thrust through. You can also, as you are clashing with the shields, you can pull people through the shields and then kill them on the other side where they are by themselves. So it is good to have a couple of people hang back as well from the shield wall.
Hodia, Mimir taught us mostly one-on-one combat. This is how we can be more effective as a unit?
Yes. Well, it is always more effective to fight as a group than one-on-one. Like, you remember at the, I can't remember what the place was called, but the slave place. You remember the place where you were kept as slaves?
I think it was, no, that's the name of the desert. It was...
I have a feeling...
Shadazar.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Hodder doesn't know where it was anyway. He wasn't too interested.
The slave mountain place, yeah.
You remember when you were kept as slaves and you escaped? You were fought by yourselves.
Some of them look a bit sheepish. They didn't do much fighting, but some of the older ones, and Snotty, of course, look proud. Can anyone remember what Snotty's real name was?
No. He is already dead. Holder, he's always been...
Brunhold.
Brunhold, thank you.
So, when you are not training with Mimir, this is what I want you to practice. I want you to practice working as a team, and I want you to practice these techniques I showed you, so that you can use them when you need to. Do you understand?
Some of the older ones nod sagely. Some of the younger ones are more impressed than anything else. Impressed at themselves, even though they couldn't really get it. And impressed with this blind man who's teaching them tactics.
So,
and
that is the
a couple of the older ones are watching the princess dance with Mimir.
Of course they are. But I don't see that. So, this is the first thing. Now, get rid of all your pads and all your weapons and shields and everything for now. And then come and gather around when you're ready. I'm gonna crouch down.
So what we've got is the classic pad off, pad on time. Any martial arts club ever in the world, where everyone stampedes over to the area. They're all pads go everywhere, and they all rush back as quick as they can. The pad area is now an absolute state, but you know, Hoda probably can't see that. You probably guess though from the amount of time it takes them.
Yeah. So once they're all gathered round, is everyone here?
Sorry, chat just ruined me.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we're all here, Hodia.
Okay. Do we need a minute? Is something funny?
No, Hodia, no.
So, you have learned to fight as a group of warriors. How many of you had families, had clans, when you were back up north?
A couple of the middle-aged boys, you'd know them as Bjorn and Borgar, remain silent. Other than that, most people, they do that awkward thing where they raise their hand and then a moment later they say, me, yes.
Yeah. They realise that I can't see them raising their hand and they're like, ah.
And they feel bad, but also... Actually, they don't feel that bad, because kids learning to communicate, they're just learning to communicate. They don't see the awkwardness of it.
And also, you know, I can't see them raising their hands, so there's no awkwardness there really. So, you understand the difference between just random strangers and a clan.
Blood, says one of the younger ones.
Yes. In a clan, you bound together by blood. Do you not think that it would be good in this foreign land for us to all be bound together in one clan, to fight together, to die together, maybe?
Oddbjorn steps forward. I saw nearly my whole clan get slaughtered, Hodia. I don't think I have a clan anymore.
So why do we not form one now, here?
What do we have to do?
Someone bring me a bottle. A fairly large one.
They sort of look between each other for a moment, and then one of the older ones defers one of the younger ones to run for it, as is often the way in a group, and it's actually Scanhild. She runs back to the tent and returns with more a gourd than a bottle.
Okay. Hold my hand out for it. When I get it, place it on the ground. Someone pass me a knife.
We've only been given training weapons, oh dear.
Then someone go get me a knife, please.
Tiliang.
Obviously, one that is clean.
Tiliang, the older teenage woman, I guess. What do you call a teenage girl? Teenage girl? Teenage woman? Who knows? Fora approaches you. Tiliang, may we borrow your knife?
Sure. Here you go. Hand it over.
Hodir asks that I check if it's clean.
I mean, didn't clean it recently, but haven't used it really either, so...
I'll just... She just sort of takes it and just sort of wipes it on her jerkin. That probably do. Young woman, young lady, thank you very much for all the suggestions. And she runs back to Hodir and says, I have a knife, Hodir. It's reasonably clean.
Well, that works. Yeah. And then I take the knife and just very lightly run it down my palm and squeeze a few drops into the gourd. If any of you would like to be part of a clan, put a few drops of blood into the gourd.
Brunhalt, or Snotty, steps forward. But Hodir, who should lead the clan?
Who do you all think should lead the clan?
Well, I'm the oldest.
Do you think you have the vision to lead a clan, to know where they should go?
Thank you very much, Michael Wayne, who gifts a tier 1 sub to Fook. That is right? FCMA, Fook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works.
You have a reroll to gift, by the way, Fook. He goes a bit quiet and hesitates. But then, Hodir, who should lead? We are all but children.
Good. Here's your lesson plan.
Thank you, Buki, for the sub as well.
Surely it is obvious who should lead.
You?
No, not me. It should be my mayor, yes?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Do any of you have any hesitation about following my mayor?
To a person, none of them has any hesitation. Except for Snotty, who sort of, just has a little hesitation, but it's more a show of hesitation. He knows this is the right thing to do. He's just being a dick.
Well then, if we form this clan, Mimir will be Jarl. For anyone who doesn't know, Jarl is like Earl, basically. Kind of a minor noble title.
Fook gives you a reroll.
Oh, thank you. So, who would like to be part of this new clan? Who would like to shed their blood and join it with mine?
rather than mobbing you as they have done with everything else they have done in training, they sort of realise the gravitas of this moment and respectfully form a line.
Okay. Consider it carefully before you do it. We will, after this, be like family. And I hand off the knife to the next person. No, I assume pass it down as they go.
Brunhild takes up position at the back of the line. Mimir, whilst you are training with Syra now, who is becoming much better at this snake-like way of fighting, you find that she is getting better at getting the stick to touch your hands rather than your body, often stopping your attacks. Quite frustrating, I'm sure. She, as you look over her shoulder, you can see Hodir with a gourd, a knife, and the kids in a line. Also, I believe you got an extra momentum earlier from Michael Wayne.
Okay. Well, I believe that was Max. I'm not sure how to throw in the extra there.
It would just be you personally.
I'm pretty sure he's fairly distracted by what's going on over with Hodir and the kids, because that's... What is that, basically? I've never seen training that involves a guard and the kids in a line and a knife.
How distracted exactly?
Pretty distracted.
So in your moment of
there's a sharp implement in hand, let the kids have sharp implements. He's not sure it's right yet.
Yeah, Hodir's passed it to Hrodglod, one of the youngest children. As you hesitate, is it fair to say that Syra would get a hit on you?
I think it's fair to say, yeah.
She would land the point on your gut for probably the first time in the entire day, and squeals with delight and then in horror. Thank you very much for the raid, Tales from the Grim. Welcome. We are still training the princess and the children.
Alright, that was good. That's very good. And he's gonna sit down a moment.
Mimir, are you okay? I didn't mean to get you.
Fine. No. You did good there. Always take advantage when your opponents are distracted. Always.
Should I help you up?
No, I'm just gonna take a moment. You should take a moment to get some water.
Oh, yes. And she sort of looks at the sun and goes, "Oh, yes, I was supposed to meet with people today. Mimir, my people, I'm gathering them to..."
Oh, that's right.
Would you mind if I took some time off of training? It's been wonderful. Truly wonderful.
We should probably go as a group. At least not alone.
That seems wise. She turns around and goes, "Why does that child have a knife?"
Actually, yeah, we should go find out what's going on over there real fast. It's been passed down the line. That's, yeah.
I'm not cutting anyone, alright? They're doing it themselves.
You can probably see a large amount of... Have you ever given a kid a knife? They'll cut themselves by accident. There's a large amount of blood coming off of some of their hands.
How are they going to learn otherwise?
Oh dear, what are you doing?
Mimir, you're just in time. How far through are we? Have we finished yet?
Free left, Hodir.
Okay, we'll finish up.
3 left for what? What are you doing here?
We are forming a clan. Congratulations. You are a Jarl.
What? Are we sure that the gutting and the blood is necessary for this?
Of course. Why would it not be? It has to be symbolic. You have to...
I am sure there are other symbolic things that could have been done.
I am open to suggestions, but we're almost done now.
Yeah, it's a bit late now. A couple of them are bleeding heavy there, though, so we should bandage that up.
Yeah, some of the kids have put like nearly half a pint in this gourd.
I'll take a look at them.
They've got like most of them have cut their palm, and some of them have done it quite wide, like almost across the whole palm. And a few of them are sort of like stifling tears. They're warriors. The warriors don't cry, but they're sitting there sort of.
Tilly will triage them by how close they are to tears and how much blood is coming out of their hand.
But
Warriors cry, by the way. It's okay to cry. It is okay to cry. Emotions are good. You can cry.
But this solves our problem.
I guess.
Well, I mean, our problem was that we could not work for the princess. Now, you can form an alliance with her as our Jarl. She can offer you land, she can offer you whatever.
Okay. It's not like there was anything left of where I left. Not that I left willingly.
And then later, maybe we can go back up north, claim some land, you can be king.
Oh, I don't know if I want to be a king.
Well, that is for later.
Yep. Okay. We almost forgot Princess has people to meet with today.
What now?
Also, no one has ate. I believe. She knows the time. I didn't set this up.
Okay.
Yes, I'm meeting with some followers at noon. I may be able to get away with just having a lunch, but Mimir suggests that we all go together.
I have something I need to do, so... Maybe afterwards I can come.
Okay.
Well, Mimir, if you are to be a king to these people, perhaps you could come as my envoy. Or diplomatic
We could do that.
partner.
Sure. I guess I've got things to learn. Guess
We
you could
should,
teach me stuff.
We should probably offer to Tiliang if she wants to join the clan. Tiliang, do you want to cut your hand?
Not particularly.
Okay. Oh, I need to speak to you in a bit as well after this whole thing.
Okay.
Has everyone finished cutting their hands?
Brunhald holds the knife. He pokes his fingertip with the smallest amount and squeezes just a little blood in. Like the smallest amount.
It is blood. It still counts. Okay, good. We're all done. Everyone, go pledge fealty to Jarl Mimir. And then we are a clan.
How, Hodir?
Well, I will do it first. Where's my staff?
We left your stuff over there.
Syra runs.
Okay.
And fetches it back.
Okay. Get my staff. I kneel down on one knee. Jarl Mimir, I pledge myself to your clan and to you. And though I have not killed in 15 years, I will kill again for you. Then offer my staff up.
I guess this is the part where I accept. Yes.
It would look pretty bad if you, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, sure. I guess I already. Sure. I mean, I am already a Zamoran, so I was already gonna help, but I'm with this group, and she'll
Oh,
be
it's
mumbling.
Yes.
I don't see the point of this being done as an individual one-on-one thing. I mean, we are a group. I kind of cut at the tail end what was going on.
Well, you can count my pledge as all of our pledge, as we have joined blood. If you like.
All right.
I think that will do.
I feel it would be good for the warriors to pledge themselves to you as well.
Several of the teens, male and female, speak up demanding the right to pledge.
There you
Okay. Okay. I'm not going to tell you guys no if that's what you want to do.
Actually, Yarik, who steps forward this time. Oh, Yorick, sorry. Holy Mimir, if we're to pledge, I would pledge with a real weapon, not a training staff.
go. Then go get one.
That is fair.
They nod their hands. Do you have weapons for them all?
I don't think he actually did have it.
I know the princess started doing some shopping last time for supplies, food, that sort of thing.
The closest I have is a battle axe.
I have some ideas about that.
I can... When I'm heading into town, I'm sure I can find an array of swords. There won't be anything fancy, though. Probably rusted and notched, but better than training staffs.
I think a basic thing is all that would be needed.
Then we can do it tonight.
We'll make a big thing of it. Pick up some food and make a feast. If we're gonna do this, we might as well do the big thing.
A ripple of excitement runs through the. How should we refer to these now? How do we refer to the clan? I can't keep referring to them as the teens. You're a clan now.
The clan, or young warriors. Warriors.
A ripple of excitement. Mimir.
I'll figure out a last name. I mean, I have leanings, but it'd be weird between characters for me if I went with what's popping to mind right now.
Okay. For now, I'll refer to them as the warriors until we get something different from you. There's a ripple of excitement, and several of them seem keen to also head into town. Why, I don't know. Probably just getting a bit stir crazy of being at the camp.
I would like to take Tiliang aside for a second and say, I hate to ask this after I gave you the gift of your bow, but I could use a little bit of money.
Oh, actually, I acquired money yesterday that I've been meaning to give you for that here, and hand you 5 gold.
Oh, okay. Well, that works out very well for me then.
Thank you very much. It's already come in quite handy.
No problem. You are good with it, and hey, maybe I'll see you in the shield wall someday.
Perhaps that would be a fun trick if we can figure out how to pull it off.
Okay. Well, I must go, so I'll see you later.
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna go collect the vial of blood. Well, the amphora, whatever the can't remember what the actual thing was.
The gourd.
Yes, the gourd. And I'm going to head into town and look for a blacksmith. Or a weaponsmith, I guess.
Okay. And the princess will be wanting to take Mimir with her into town. Tiliang, what would you like to do?
Go with the princess.
Several of the warriors seem keen to go into town as well. You can let them go into town unsupervised if you wish.
That would be Mimir's call at this point.
Yes, they're not my clan.
Mimir, would you have any objection to the warriors going into town unsupervised?
No, you gotta show them some trust. How are they supposed to trust you if you can never trust them?
Okay. You hear some of the older ones talking about a bar. I'm just gonna purge that one. You guys know why. So.
If you guys are excited for drinks, save that for later. I don't think it would be good to be wandering through a town you don't really know after drink. Besides, it's not like it's mead. That's the real good stuff.
Fora, who's one of the older young women, sort of tries to attach herself to you and the princess. May I accompany you?
I believe that is up to you, princess. This is your meeting.
Yes, I think that would do well. Not too many of you. I don't want to seem overwhelmed, but I think a Jarl could easily have an attendant. I think that's just fine. I'm not really sure how things work in the north. Do you have attendants and such?
I honestly never had time around a lot of that, so I'm not sure either. That might be a Hodir question.
Sees Hodir wandering off towards the smith.
Who has questions for Hodir?
Me, chimes in Syra.
Yes.
Would it be normal for a northern Jarl to have attendants?
Some Jarls feel the need for bannermen, for bodyguards. Some do not need it. I do not imagine in this situation Mimir would need it, but it could be seen as a show of superiority if you did not have guards and Mimir did.
I was going as her attendant.
Then you do not need guards.
Guards with guards. She's so superior, her guards have guards.
Fora looks a little crestfallen at Hodia's words, but nods and says, perhaps we can meet afterwards for drinks in town?
We could.
And the princess nods. That would be pleasant. There is a nice bar, and starts giving an address of the bar where she's been drinking, well, where she was drinking quite regularly before she started training seriously.
Hodger's already wandered off to do what he needs to do.
So, Tiliang, Mimir, princess. The princess leads you to a to a church where she meets the Zamoran priest, not the Aquilonian priest, and they converse for a short time. I'm skipping over it because it's literally introductions. This is Mimir, this is Tiliang, this is the priest. He will lead us to the group and all of that sort of thing. And he closes the chapel, for want of a better word. Shrine, I suppose. Closes the shrine and starts heads to a nondescript building. Seemingly in the middle of a bunch of alleyways. They actually go into the basement, and the basement is where there are stools laid out, a small stage, and a couple of people are already there. Again, in the entry hall, there's a changing room and space to change into robes.
You're to change robes then.
The priest hesitates. It is a custom we took on as a guise. If anyone were to come across us, we could, dressed all as holy men, say it was a holy gathering.
Okay.
But he looks to the princess questioningly.
Holy men, and that is in fact a woman. Is what you were saying there?
No. Correct me if I'm wrong, princess, but you intend us to rise up? Perhaps the time for guises are past. The princess turns to you both. Mimir, Tiliang, what is your counsel on this issue?
Well, at some point in time, revealing the secret is more important than holding it for goals to be reached. This looks like it might be one of those times.
The only concern is by revealing yourself too early, they find out that they do not have everyone they think they have. Although I suspect they already know that. It could help reinvigorate your people, but it could also put everyone in more danger. This is something that will have to be handled very delicately.
We definitely wouldn't want to stay in this town much longer after the reveal.
Yes, and that would mean we start traveling, and we don't stop until you have what you need to really surmount the uprising. And the larger the group, the easier we will be to track also.
There was talk before about taking this city as a staging ground. Now that is campaigning talk, Princess. I understand the pressing issues which drive you back towards the capital. But if you wish, we could do that in your stead, or we could leave and accompany you. Princess bites her lip for a second.
Have you been one of the organizers?
Yes, I have arranged this building and I speak at every meeting. Doing more what I do now than leading, I simply put questions to people and help them come to decisions by arguing.
Would you say then that everyone else is ready to make a move? Because maybe they would not be ready for it at this point. Surprise might be the only chance.
The princess will remember this and looks towards Tilia.
You're going to need to make many decisions that will be difficult. I think this is the first of those. I'm with you, whatever you decide. I can certainly see the wisdom in revealing now and moving forward with, I don't know. I mean, taking over the town could be a huge step on the journey and to garner some recognition and drive more people to being active in rebellion.
I cannot stay to drive the rebellion from this city. I must get back to try and save my family. Do I take the forces that are available now, or do I leave them to begin the rebellion on their own and, no offense, priest, but potentially oppose me once I have the capital? Should all go well.
Why would they oppose you?
Men get a taste for power. Especially ones who are not led. You say you just provide questions. The mob rules. We're taught to fear it in schools. Once the mob has decided you are a bad king, you are no longer a king. And after a moment, she adds, or queen.
I think in that case it might be best to try and consolidate as fast as possible and then move. How fast would we be able to pull all the forces that you guys have so far here?
I can... Some of the men that join us are merchants, stockpilers. Some have grain, others have wagons. In 2 days, we could mobilize 100 men.
2 days is most of our family, isn't it?
I believe I have 4 weeks. It's going to be a long journey to Zamora, at least 2 weeks. I fear I've already lost 2 sisters. I wonder which one they'll spare.
Or if they spare any. This is gonna have to be your choice.
I will take both your counsels. We will dress as holy men, holy people, today. And when we will move as holy people. We will make it look like a pilgrimage until we are a day away from the city. That gives the best of both your counsels. Caution, but haste.
Okay.
Sounds like an excellent plan, Princess.
Truly, there's only one reason we still need to be here. I should give an address. People have to see you lead. And she waits, she dips behind a screen and puts on one of these white frocks with the flowers that sit around the neck. Waits until the room is full of various, mostly men, it must be said. There's a couple of women that come along, but there's a strong trope there. And after the priest is happy and quiets everyone, he introduces the Princess Christinia, who stands and addresses them. She keeps it simple, merely recounting what the priest did in the square, and citing her intentions regarding the Aquilonian king. She describes it as a mercy to cull the wicked king, as a justice, to remove the stain from her land. The people do not cheer. They're too practiced in remaining hidden for that. But you can see them smiling and jabbing one another. And they leave in high spirits. Thank you, Mimir, Tiliang. Your counsel was most helpful. You complimented me earlier, Mimir, and I can return that compliment. You have a wise head.
We should probably be getting... I believe we told one of the girls we would be meeting up with her later. They've got some shopping to do. My only concern, since we ourselves know none of these people, let's just hope that they are all truly the people they should have been and not a potential spy.
That's true. I hadn't thought of that.
We are...
Now that we are out of Hodir's earshot, don't get me wrong, I'm very fond of Hodir, but he can be a little stiff. I wonder if you would join me in a little ruse to try and get some weapons a little cheaper.
Perhaps.
I mean, we can't exactly say that we know nothing about what happened in the square.
I've learnt subtlety since then. At least a little. If
Wait,
you could...
what? I think we're talking about different things in the square here.
Remind Scrat what you're referring to.
The attempted assassination.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. They're talking different things.
Yeah. I have an idea regarding one of the shopkeepers. You see, theft, yes, it's wrong. You shouldn't thieve, no matter how good the cause, even if it seems like liberating. But if you can make it the shopkeeper's idea that he'll get a better deal if you make an agreement. You've been training me in fighting all day, Mimir, and I even struck you once. But I bet I still look like a noble. Tiliang, you must see where I'm going.
I think I do. I don't see why not. We need supplies.
I'm not sure I could follow. But I feel a bit awkward. You just called me wise, and I have no idea what you're saying now.
I believe the goal is to engage in negotiations that we aren't so forthright.
A little dissembling.
I mean, aren't the people here, and a good deal of the people here in this town, your people as well?
Not so much in the market squares. A lot of them are Aquilonians. Came with the guards. Wives, children.
Yes, but how long have they lived here now? Is this not their town now? I don't see them up and moving away once the Aquilonians are overthrown. People are wont to stay where they have made their homes.
True.
I think what we do is we search out the merchants that we know are Zamoran, and we go to them, and then we make a promise that will be kept.
That does seem the more honourable thing to do. What do you think, Liang?
It sets up, assuming that everything is successful, I think it sets up a nice sort of trust in people when you do get there. The more people that can say, oh, I've had dealings with this princess or queen, however it shakes out, and found them to be good dealings. There's, as you said before, you must worry about the mob turning on you.
Yes, of course, my reputation. But hardly thought. It's addictive manipulation and theft.
Being familiar with them is a good thing, because then you can increase the likelihood that you're not a victim of them.
Okay, we'll strike a deal with some Zamoran traders. Your decision will have the slight repercussions that you won't get quite so good weapons. You do get good weapons, but the trader's general view will be that a promise of tomorrow is worth nothing today. However, we can improve that, I believe. Is there a mercantile skill?
There's a craft skill, which I would say might be able to get you, like, understanding the quality of an item.
Yeah.
There's society, which might help with that.
Society, yes. Why don't we go for some society rolls? And I'll take them from you too, actually. Hey, Mirror Shadows! Thank you for gifting the sub to Dizzybug, who we now know as Diane, and welcome, Diane. Thank you for joining in.
There's also Persuade as well. Just
that works, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, well, with 4 successes between the two of you, you do get the best of the worst. So the blades are actually quite sharp. They only have spots of rust here and there, and perhaps with a bit of craft you could even clean them up somewhat.
You'd say we go find a place with some vinegar to clean these up the rest of the way.
Sure, I think I can be of some help there.
I mean, there'll be vinegar at the bar, but I doubt we want to be cleaning swords whilst we're having drinks. We were going to meet Fora, weren't we? And as you do that, why don't we pan across to Hodir, who went to the smith?
okay. Yeah, I'd like to go and find, I guess, a decent weaponsmith.
So when you're walking through the town, you find a smith the way any person does. You listen for the ring of the hammer. And you'll find a quarter where there are a number of merchants. One specializes in armors, another is a more of a fletcher really than a smith. They just crudely cast some arrowheads. And the last is a specialist in blades.
I will go to the blade specialist. Hello.
Hello.
You
How
make
can I help?
blades.
That I do.
I would like you to make me 3 weapons.
Free weapons. I have a large order. The Aquilonians, they are sending more guards. They want weapons waiting for them. The soonest I can do it will be tomorrow.
Tomorrow works.
I have an apprentice who could use some training. He could take on some of the work.
I would prefer it to be good.
He specializes in fine weapons. He goes over to the back wall and pulls down a long rapier and passes it across the counter to you. Or holds it out across the counter to you, not realizing that you are blind. It's right here.
Put it in my hand.
Oh, I apologize.
It is fine. I get it a lot. How is it?
It's very light. Very, very light. It has a very fine pommel. It doesn't have much of a crossguard. It's not like your Spanish-style rapier with the large bell on it. It's more like your falchion-style cross handle. Light is the main word for this weapon.
More of like a hand guard as opposed to like a cross guard.
Yeah. Almost more of a. You could. The way it curves on one side, you could almost think that they were intending it to be a sword breaker, but this weapon's far too fine for that to ever work.
No, I'm looking for something a bit sturdier. Well, how about I tell you what I want, and we'll figure out who does it.
Yes, please.
I would like a battle axe. A big, strong a shield breaker.
A shield-breaking battle axe. You will want, how heavy?
Heavy enough to break shields.
There are ways and means. Do you want a broad blade or a thin blade? The thin blade will break a shield quicker, but the thick blade is more likely to hit.
We'll go thick.
Thick. How good do you want it to be? I can fold metal 20 times in a day. The more folds, the better the axe.
I want the axe to be good. If you can manage it, I would like a gem in the head. Blue, ice, blue preferably. And there is one more thing. It is a little bit strange, but I hope you will allow it. And I pull up the jug of amphora. What the hell is the name of this damn thing?
A gourd?
What the hell are you? Come on. Yeah, the gourd. Put this and forge it with this.
Oh, wine and he.
Blood.
Oh.
I would not drink it.
I thought that would be a form of payment. What do you want me to do with this?
Forge the axe with it.
Fold it into the metal?
Yes.
That is not something I have done before.
Are you up to the challenge?
Am I up to the challenge? I am the best bladesmith in this city. You will not find a better.
And I'm going to. I assume that the Nordlanders use runes. One last thing. I would like in the handle of this. I would like, and I'll write down the runes for Kvasir. That is what the axe will be called. Just as long as you can trace, copy the runes, that will work.
Yes, this I will give to my apprentice. There does not need to be any strength in this. They can copy good enough. That would speed up the job for you. This job piques my interest. I wish I could bring it before the guardsman's job.
Well, how much would it be? Maybe I can pay a bit more.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you can. Let me look in my ledger. A good battle axe will be 5 gold. It will be intense, vicious, slightly unbalanced, but enough to get a good swing.
This works.
I would like to put 60 folds in the metal for it to be strong. It will take 3 days.
You know your craft better than I do. I just swing the blades. I do not make them.
You want the jewel set in the head?
Yes. It does not have to be impressive or extravagant. Just a little bit of ice.
How about functional?
Sure, if it can be functional.
It's something I have been experimenting with, using gems on the blade.
Okay,
It will cost you another 2 gold.
done.
For 12 gold, I will work day and night.
I have 7, so
Hmm.
work at your own speed.
Indeed. If you wish to try and barter, you may use the persuade skill.
Oh dear, not barter.
Oh, do not barter. I was just letting you, Meta, know that
yeah.
that is an option.
Well, perhaps I can come back. I do need those. I do need 2 other things made, but I would like this one done especially. So, here's the 7 gold.
Payment up
And perhaps
front. I like you.
Of course. What's the name of the? I'm not an Aquilonian.
No, those dogs, they charge me 30 days. 30 days until they will pay.
Well,
Oh,
I
and
will.
you did get another reroll from Dizzybug. It's on the screen.
Yes, thank you. Well, then I will see if I can rustle up some more money, come back. I will order possibly 2 more. But this is the one I want most of all.
Of course. Of course, yes. I will get started. With blood. And he almost forgets you are there. He starts mumbling to himself about temperatures and fold thicknesses and the viscosity of blood. And even you can hear him doing things with the jug, and it sounds a lot like he dips his finger in it and licks it. And makes more mumblings about folding and...
Blade making does not interest me. I leave.
And where does Hodia go?
Oh dear wonders. I am hungry. I will get food. And then I'll go back to the camp.
Do you happen to end up in the same bar as the Princess Tiliang Mimir and Fora? Or would you go near another bar which is loud with the sound of young Asgardians, I suppose?
No, that is annoying there. It's possibly less annoying where it's quieter. We'll go there.
Okay.
So I guess I head up where the princess is. It's gonna be more annoying. Damn it!
The princess has deigned to drink wine. She's drinking it from almost a flute, rather than a cup this time. This is she chose this place because it's a little swankier, but she has coin to spare. Fora has joined the princess in the wine drinking. How about Mimir and Tiliang? What will you be? What is your state when Hodier arrives?
I think Mimir would have joined for one.
Yeah, Tilly would have a drink, but she can't really afford to buy rounds. So, yeah, she'd be doing pretty sober living.
And the princess is still thankful from the morning, but she's trying to break the ice awkwardly. She doesn't really know how to talk to you about things other than training. For all the time you were traveling together, she's starting to realize she was probably more annoying than anything else. And she's trying to find topics of conversation that interest you. She cycles through the state of some of the men in the bar, the state of some of the women. She talks about the local politics. She's trying all sorts of things to try and pique your interest.
I'd politely chime in here and there, but not really interested in small talk, I guess.
Mimir, realizing he's got a lot to learn, is gonna need to pay attention to the politics, because it sounds like that's gonna be his world at some point also.
You're welcome. Is Kodir there, or is that something he walks in on?
You can walk in on the scene whenever you like.
Okay.
She notices you lending more of an ear, Mimir, when she talks politics. And she gestures to a group across the room. It seems like a group of merchants that are being visited by a noble. It's interesting that. Do you see? The woman across the table is plotting against the noble, but the person beside the noble is their friend, despite the fact they act the complete opposite. Did you notice when the noble joined the table, she almost hugged the woman across the table, but barely spared a glance for the woman that she sits next to, and the man across the table is unsure of each of their positions. And she takes a sip.
Then that is all very confusing.
Yes, it's one of the delicacies of politics. If I believe the noble believes that all of them are plotting against her in some way or another. You see the way she dissembles? Not being consistent with any of them, trying to confuse them, keep them guessing.
I hope that is not the only way to rule.
No, it is not, but it's worth noting. When people begin to act like that around you, something's up. This noble's house must be unstable. Or due to be on the rise sometime soon, perhaps. There's change coming for her house.
See, up north, we don't really... It's a lot more straightforward. If you have an issue with another house, you guys war, you settle it, it's done. There isn't all the plotting, all the showing different faces to different people.
Do you not play the game even a little?
Not from what I've ever seen. It's a very different land. It's cruel in its own way. Where here it is very, very hot. There it is very, very cold. You have to ration out food to last for months and months during the winters, because they are long.
May I ask you a question, Mimir? To understand your people better. Here's a scenario. You have a, what did we call it earlier? A bannerman who misses a watch, but you're not sure whether they did it intentionally to leave the wall unguarded or whether it was a genuine mix-up. That night, a homeless person makes it into your fort and spends the night sleeping in your parlor. There is no harm done, but you cannot be sure whether this was an intentional thing or not. How would your Jarls react to such an event?
Awoken.
It is a very honor-bound society. I don't know. I mean, if it's unintentional, then how can you hold them at fault? Especially if nothing bad came of it.
But if you don't reprimand them, would not mistakes be seen as acceptable?
I don't believe so, because the sense of honor is still there, and I believe they would still feel it because they did not make their thing.
And would the bannerman perhaps offer some sort of service or punishment for losing honor in making the mistake in the first place?
Often, and it's usually up to the Jarl on whether or not they accept that, or if they say, hey, we all make mistakes because we are all human.
Yes, there are many differences between our clans. She waves at Hodir. And then calls to Hodir. Hodir, over here.
Hello. I came for food. Apparently, I've also got company with it. What were you discussing?
Politics.
Oh, I'll go find food.
We can
That is-
discuss other things. It's the main thing that grabbed Mimir's attention. Sorry, Mimir.
It's okay.
How do you feel about being a Jarl?
I'm very confused by it. I did not expect it. I only planned on eventually leading everyone back home someday.
But you did plan to lead.
Yes, in a manner of speaking.
It was the only choice that made sense, and you were the best candidate for the job.
I suppose I had not considered the fact that we would be going back and there would be no families, because they're assuming gone.
Why do you think I sparred with you the way I did?
I just thought you felt like sparring.
If I felt like sparring, I would have been a bit more defensive.
Well, either way, it seems I've got a lot to learn now myself.
I do not envy you. I never liked politics.
Oh dear, why
I've
didn't you
never-
take the position of Jarl?
To lead people, you have to see where you're going. I have not had a path for 20 years.
She goes to strike your arm. Just a punch.
Sure.
You let it hit?
Yeah.
Funny thing is, I have a feeling that you could see that coming, Hodir.
Why do you think that?
I've seen you fight.
Hmm?
For a blind man, sometimes it's like you have eyes in the back of your head.
When you cannot see, you have to learn to anticipate moves, to hear them, to feel them. When you're in the middle of battle, very often you cannot even see, so...
That kind of maneuvering sounds exactly like politics to me.
I don't know. My old Jarl, many years ago, he used to say that if your axe isn't big enough, get a bigger axe. That was politics for us.
Sees Mimir nodding. Could we do some more training this afternoon?
I have done what I need to do, so I can train.
I enjoyed having a weapon. But I would also enjoy your type of training again, Hodir.
Hmm. Okay, I have an idea of what you should be learning. Shall we say after you've finished your food and wine? I would not drink too much. It will not help your training.
We didn't order food without you. Well, we did, but it's not arrived yet, so if you want, we can tag you on to our order.
I'll have meat.
I could have ordered it for you. I appreciate you, Tillian. Thank you for supporting me.
Absolutely, Princess. Or Syra.
She looks around. It doesn't seem like anyone noticed.
Sorry, the deprecating nickname is hard for me to drop.
Food will arrive. You may eat. You also get given drinks. And we have got 2 random potions due. One will be for... Oh, which way do we go around? Sheepy. And one will be for Pixie. Please could you both roll me 1d100.
Holy crap. Okay.
Woof! Woof!
You have the plague. You are dead. Congratulations on plague.
Oh, this one's almost like some sort of tarot thing for you, Mimir. Your drink doesn't taste right in your hand. You expect it to be ale or some cheap interpretation of mead. But instead, all you can taste is shining silver, as though the beer were money. It's almost like a foretelling. But when you drink it, it tastes like pickled beets. It's almost like becoming noble and peasant are warring with one another. And the effect that this potion has on you is a shift in alignment. In D&D, that would traditionally refer to neutrality, good, evil, and that sort of thing. But here, I would think it would mean more of a shift of allies. So it's almost symbolic of your new relationship with the princess. Or taking the Jarl. The other bit's just ridiculous. So I'm leaving that out. Oh my god, not as ridiculous as this. Okay, so I thought that undead control was ridiculous because we're not going to have it. Well, I'll never say never, but so far I'm not planning much in the way of undead in this campaign. And I've just looked at sheepies, and the bit that I would leave out as well is summon death penguins.
I do like penguins.
This drink looks like lapis lazuli and tastes like Merlot. It seems someone's given you the wrong drink because it seems you're drinking wine. Whether anyone would point out that it doesn't look like wine, who knows. But the effect it has on you is that you sink slightly into the earth. You can only be slightly drunk.
That thinks slightly into the earth.
That's the way it seems.
Oh. This is strange and stupid. I do not like it.
After your meals, you can head back to camp. However, as you do, you see two Aquilonian guards rushing past you, and you can hear shouting coming from a tavern nearby.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm assuming that is us.
That is probably us. That is possibly children.
Warriors. No.
Right. In this instance, children.
Would you like me to come?
Yes, this
Okay.
might be messy.
I will bring my whacking stick.
I think they need it. It sounds like they need it.
Princess, we will have to delay training for a little bit.
I will come along. Perhaps I can be of assistance.
We did change her appearance, right? Think so.
Yeah, didn't you
we
black her
blobbed
hair?
off her hair.
Yeah, cut it and blacked it or something.
Yeah. Okay. So Lemir's gonna head off in the same direction as the guards, cause yeah.
When you arrive at the tavern, the two guards go in. Outside the tavern are all of the children.
Oh no.
Except one.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Snotty?
Snotty is missing.
No.
Is he in there?
You can hear the argument as they have before they notice you arrive. And the older ones are saying to the younger ones, "No, come on, we don't want to get into trouble. Let's just go back to camp." And the younger ones are going, "But Brunhalt is one of the clan. We can't leave him behind, even if he is arguing." And then they notice you.
Let's go ahead and head back. We'll handle Brunhald.
One of the older ones steps forward. "Do you need a hand, Jarl?"
I think we got this. Let's thank you.
I am here. I will look after you, the Jarl.
The princess turns to Yorick and says, "Yorick, there will be a merchant delivering blades to the camp sometime soon. Please get back quickly and receive them." He still hesitates, waiting for well, Mimir, you told him to go, so he hesitates again, but doesn't fight it for long before turning and going.
With the rest of the kids, right?
Yes. Before Hrodglod leaves, she rushes up to Mimir and hugs their leg, much like a child would to a parent, and chases after them.
Alright, let's go deal with this.
Okay. I'm gonna basically hang on just behind the shoulder of Mimir while this all goes on.
Chat is so thirsty, y'all. I don't think I've seen a combination of people not shipped yet. So, as you walk in, it's very clear that Brunhald is drunk. There is a broken glass on the floor near a toppled table, and the innkeep is standing, and you hear as you walk in Brunhilde with his back to the door saying, "Why should I care if you call the guards? I am a trained warrior. Bring your guards."
Do you want us to deal with this quickly, or...?
Yes, we're dealing with this quickly.
The Aquilonians went in ahead of you and are already marching across the bar towards him.
Brunhilde.
Brunhilde goes stock still, possibly going a little pale.
Now, is this not the opposite of what we said to do?
It's not my fault. Their table toppled, the glass shattered, and this innkeep says I have to pay. It's not my fault. I didn't break any glass. And,
How did the table topple?
It must have had a duff leg. You were fighting! You were fighting with one of your friends, with that older boy, and they left when you started getting Larry. The innkeep cries across the bar, more at the guards. The guards simply say, "Look, we're not here. This is almost beneath us. Just pay for the broken glass and be on your way, child." You can see him sort of, despite you being here, riling again. Getting ready to argue back.
Brunhilde, if you were fighting with one of the other children, because right now you are acting like a child and not a warrior. You need to pay for that glass. Regardless of the legs on the table. Tables don't up and tip over even when they have a bad leg.
His white flush slowly turns to red as the heat rises in his face. He fumbles. He's drunk. His coin purse for a moment and puts a gold piece on the bar. And a silver piece as well. And starts staggering away. The guards turn to the innkeep and say, "Are you satisfied, innkeep?" And the innkeep sort of looks at you, looks at the guards, and sort of says, "Yes, this will do. He's paid his dues. Thank you. Thank you as well."
Can I get a piece of bread for him? I don't think he's drank before.
Realization dawns on the innkeep. Ah. I see. One so old? Okay. Yes. Yes, I will get you some bread.
Alright.
I only have stale crusts left. You can have this for free.
Alright. Serves him right anyways.
The Aquilonians take the silver piece as compence for being called and leave. The innkeep mutters after they leave about daylight robbery and the usual sort of thing, but it seems like this is a normal thing.
Mimir's gonna quietly slide him another silver piece since they're gone.
He places hands across his chest and bows to you in a foreign salute to you. You don't recognize it. It's sort of like that. It's not one that you'd recognize. It's not Asgardian. It's certainly not Zamoran from what you've seen either. But clearly it means thank you.
We will see to it that he is not in here and supervised again.
I did not realize it was his first time. So old. That is not necessary. Just, perhaps get him a little more used to drinking before you let him out alone.
Yeah.
If I may, Jarl, it might be a good idea to instill a little bit of discipline into him again.
Yeah. Yep.
Would you like me to do that, or do you wish to handle it yourself?
He's kind of a delicate one to handle, isn't he?
I had not noticed. They all bruise the same.
It's not like you see them.
True.
I'm talking more the ego. He has much pride. It's been a problem from the start.
I think he is an idiot, but that is just me.
I should probably be the one to handle it then.
Okay. Well, if you do not need me, I will go back and I will continue training the princess.
Well, we should be headed back anyway after this.
Yes.
I wonder if part of the problem is that he is only ever interacting with warriors. Perhaps Tiliang could find a way to reach out to the boy. I would suggest myself, but honestly, I would only probably use Hodor's method.
I would have suggested something like this, but I quite like Tiliang, and I don't think she should be put through that, to be honest.
The princess turns, looking at Tiliang. I haven't caused offense, have I, Tiliang?
No, not at all. I don't know what I could do, but I'll certainly try.
Plus, this is a clan matter. It should be handled by the Jarl, or someone the Jarl tells to handle it.
Maybe we should both then.
Oh, I have an idea, if you like. You could order Snotty to be, I guess you would say manservant to Tiliang. Fetch, carry. assist.
That could work. How do you feel about that, Tilly?
I can certainly keep him busy.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, shall we get back? Frankly, this place is a bit of a dive.
Just
There's nothing wrong with the dive. Dives often have the best meads, beers, and you'd be surprised about the wines too.
I think that man over there's ogling me. I think this is an ogle. It's the first time I've been ogled.
Just get out of here.
back to training.
And Hoda can't see it, but Mimir can. There's a smile touches Syra's lips. And we come back to the camp. What happens when we get back to camp?
Brunhold.
Brunhold is sort of leaning against a fence post. He doesn't respond at first.
You'll want some water and you'll want some bread, but don't drink that water too fast. It'll only make you sicker.
When you pass him the water, his body sort of quivers for a second. And then lurches.
Maybe the bread first.
Yeah, but before you can pass him the bread, his body lurches. We won't go into details. And after a moment, he puts a shaking hand out. Water.
Okay. Was I right in my assumption that that was your first drink?
No. I've drunk lots of water.
I think you know I'm not talking water.
What's the difference?
Your behavior for one.
And
how sick you feel right now for two.
I must be sick or something. I think I have come down with a cold.
No. You drink too much alcohol too fast.
But
Trust me, eat the bread, you'll see. 10 minutes, you'll feel a lot better. Colds don't do that.
And he takes the bread from you and begins to eat. But that sort of, the eating.
Needs to sleep it off.
Nah, he can deal with the hangover.
Okay. Princess, training.
The princess approaches you and says, "Should I bring my reed?"
No.
Okay.
Let us go. And I'll walk off to the training area
She
where we always train.
follows. This time, though, when she follows, she doesn't just walk normally, Mimir. She's walking with a swinging gait, as though your lesson about dancing has left a permanent impression on her.
Oh no.
You have a lot to answer for, y'all.
Do we want to follow Hodir, or do we
What
want...
do you take from it? You can't.
So, do we want to follow Hodir first, or do we want to stay with Mimir and Tiliang for a bit and come to the Hodir and the princess afterwards?
I'm happy to do the Hodir, but if you guys would like to finish off the reprimanding of the poor drunk boy.
The rest of the warriors are at camp. Yorick, who was entrusted to receive the blades, indeed has I've forgotten the name of what they're called, a picket, I suppose, full of weapons, which he has not distributed. And they look sort of worriedly at Mimir. We only had one glass of wine each, I swear, Jarl.
Not everyone can handle alcohol the same way.
He acts like a buffoon without alcohol. Excuse me, Jarl, I speak out of turn.
It affects everyone different. For all we know, could have just made him cheery. Clearly not.
As though on cue, one of the kids giggles. One of the younger ones.
Bernhold will hopefully learn. There's some, once they start drinking, they never stop. We can hope that that is not the case for him. But oftentimes when this is the reaction, that is the case. As is, we will not let him go to sleep early as much as he may want to. He is going to stay up. And he is going to experience what it's like to deal with drinking too much than you can personally handle. You would all be wise to learn from this yourselves.
They try and do a variety of Asgardian salutes from what they remember. They're not correct, but they try them. They're sort of stumbling over each other a little, but the general is yes, Jarl.
Okay. Right. Brunhold, how you feeling?
Food helps.
Not a cold. Not everyone can handle alcohol.
But
It can make you angry, or it can make you happy, or it can make you sad. And some people get lost in it.
But I'm supposed to be a warrior.
Warriors don't have to drink. In fact, if you are drunk in battle, often you will make mistakes.
My head hurts.
It is called a hangover. Drink some water, drink some bread. For today, as a lesson, most people would sleep that headache off. You will live with that headache for today.
Yes, Jarl.
And you will also, you will wait on Tilly. Tilly needs something, you do it.
Steps close. Inhibition's clearly still a little lowered. But there's more and they're not Asgardian.
Does that matter? Are they not people?
Shifty eyes, looking for the trap. They are people, but I thought the lesson we learned in the slave camp was that we can only trust each other.
Have they not been with us this entire time?
Tiliang has.
Has Tiliang not helped us in many cases? I think it is fair to say Tiliang is someone who is not taken the blood oath of the clan, but is still part of the clan.
Tiliang does not even train.
Clans are made up of more than just warriors.
I will go and see what they require.
Okay.
And he walks away, holding his head. Tiliang, you are joined by this teen. The Jarl commands me to do your bidding.
Yes. I think for now, I'll just have you get started. I need another target for practice, so here is a sack that's not being used for anything else. Fill that with nice and full of sand for me. And then I will practice and you can fetch my arrows for a bit.
Okay. And he begins filling this sack with sand. And does your bidding. He when you fire arrows, he plays fetch. Why don't we skip across to Hodir and the princess? How does training look today?
One thing, after the dressing down of Snotty happens, I would shout over, I believe it is about time for the pledges of loyalty as well. So...
Yorick calls across, I have it in hand, Hodir. He's building a fire.
Good. Okay. First thing, princess, I need you to go and gather me 8 different rocks, reasonable size, not like peppers, but rocks.
Different sizes or different types?
Just maybe fist shape sized, and put them about this area.
I'll be back shortly.
Okay.
And she makes her way to a space in the camps where no one pitches their tents because it is particularly rocky. And after about 10 minutes, we'll return with a selection of rocks, which are all different colours and different sizes, but none less than fist-sized.
Put them around you in a circle and stand in the middle.
Okay.
Okay. Once she's done that, I'm going to choose one of them. That is number 1. Yes?
She points at the one in front of hers. Okay, I've chosen the one in front of me.
Okay, that is number 1. Going around to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
And Hodir is going to sit down and say, I will call out a number. You'll get to the rock as quickly as possible and touch it and run back to the center.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, I am ready.
2.
And sure enough, she runs to 2 and runs back.
And as I hear her, get to 2, I'm going to shout 4.
She doesn't return to center, she runs straight to 4.
You must go back to center.
How did you hit? Yes, Hodia. And she returns to center.
4.
She runs to 4.
As she gets to the rock, I shout 2.
This time you hear the shuffle of her turning in center as she touches 2.
Okay. When she hits 2, 6, 7.
Run, 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 touch, shuffle, run, run, touch, shuffle, run, run, touch, shuffle.
And I keep doing that. As long as she goes back to the center, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's not long until she starts building up a sweat. You've done some melee training with her and some conditioning with her, but she's not done any cardiac training whatsoever. So she's soon...
Claudia knows how to train princesses. Do not worry.
She's suddenly very, very tired very, very quickly. The warriors, under Yorick and Fora's instruction, have created more of a bonfire than a regular fire. And they have arranged the warriors in rows around it, ready for the pledges. Several of them clasp something at the back. Would assume you can all converge at some point on this. Perhaps it would be maybe up to half an hour later before the princess. I doubt she'd manage an hour of that, but as long as Hodir will train her, why don't we all converge at the end when this fire is built?
Okay.
Each of the children has selected a weapon. Well, each of the warriors, sorry. And one by one they walk forward, offering their blade to Mimir. And reciting the words that Hodir said.
Probably not precisely.
Not precisely, no. Some of them say I have never killed. Others say that it has been about 2 months since they've killed, referring to the slave pens. But each of them says they would be glad to kill and die for you, Jarl Mimir.
I believe it's Jarl Bjarnason.
Jarl Bjarnason.
Bjarnason.
Mimir would accept each one in turn.
Towards the end, Yorick stands. Whilst we were in town, we found something. And between us, we all chipped in and purchased it. Come forth, and the 4 smallest ones bring forward a long, leather-wrapped article, which they begin to unravel, and it is a banner. A battle axe over a broken chain. It seemed fitting, like it was meant for us.
It does indeed seem fitting. Thank you.
I do not know what it is. What is it?
It is what was the color of the banner? Sorry, missed that.
It's just on a field. You would probably call it on a field of sand, but it's just plain sackcloth with embroidery.
Yeah. It is, I guess, a field of sand with a battle hammer crossed over broken chains.
I like it.
Thank you.
And I think on that wholesome note is where we'll end this week's episode of Conan. So, as we go round, why don't we talk about our favourite ships? Talk about our favourite moments, where we can find each other online, and all the wonderful stuff that we do. Let's go the opposite way around. So this time we will start with Torn Pixie Twitch. Oh, hi.
Hey, favorite part. Well, if we get into the ships, honestly, I think I'm with whoever in chat said just ship everyone. Ship everyone. Save everyone trouble. Go Polly.
It got pretty spicy when the princess and Mimir were sparring. Mimir was awfully distracted.
Yeah.
Oh, Mimir was distracted because of the kids cutting their hands, and
There's that too. Yes. Favorite moment? I mean, becoming Earl's pretty cool, and then figuring out name and everything for that, and just, oh boy, learning politics. So, lot of really cool ones, and just wow. And then with the training, yeah. I know we had discussed the possibility on the Yarland, and then just the way I did not see the blood stuff coming in. I saw the guard. First thing I thought was, oh, they're gonna spit in it and drink it, or what's happening here? So that was great though. That was a nice touch. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tornpixie Twitch. And then on Facebook at Tornpixie, as well as here on Twitch. I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sundays usually. I've got a bonus stream this Thursday for charity. You want more information on that, that can be found on Twitter.
Awesome, fantastic, thank you. A pleasure playing with you today. Next around we have Natalie at Dark Aardvark. Oh, hi!
Hello, I am at Dark_Aardvark on Twitter. First, actually, I want to do my favorite ship is Mimir and Hodir, because they're like the best parents in the desert, and it's awesome. My favorite moment tonight, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I think they're kind of tied together, but it is the children lined up to do the blood in the gourd, and then they all banded together and got the banner. It was really adorable and cute, and a nice little button on it all. So that'd be my favorite part of tonight. Again, Dark Aardvark on Twitter. That's the best place to find stuff. Whatever I'm up to right now. A lot of stuff from embroidery to 3D printing and some other crafty makery stuff, and hopefully running some games myself at some point in time this year. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Very exciting, very exciting.
Yeah.
That's the extent of my French knowledge. It's not really, actually. Anyway. Next around, we have Sheepdog42. Oh, hi, Sheepdog. Same questions.
hello. Usually, I don't say anything about where you can find me, but I am actually working on my own show, and it's going to be coming in the future soonish. I just got the sketches in for the regiments of the Imperial Guards that are going to be in my show, and they look awesome. Someone called Boyfruit, awesome dude, is sketching them up and drawing them. So hopefully soon there will be some promotional stuff on my Twitter with that going on. Aside from that, because I can't stop him, apparently there will probably be links in the chat for where you can find me. And yeah, I am so glad I managed to get permission to enact my plan to force Jarldom upon Mimir. Had a little chat with Scrat about it over the break, and yeah, yeah. My favorite moment was probably just getting everyone together to enact it, and their reactions of kind of like it. I felt like it fit, really. Like, it all felt fairly like natural progression of the story, you know. And also Mimir's reaction to it as well was hilarious, and just the very vague awkwardness of being like, I'm now important, and I'm head of a clan, and I don't like this exactly. It's a little uncomfortable. That was all great, and I can't wait to see the axe. For those of you who don't know, Kvasir is a Norse god, and his name basically means the wisest. Weirdly enough, as well, talking about spit, he was formed from the spit of all the other gods. So maybe it would have made more sense for everyone to spit in the jug, but yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many people would have been able to handle that. I'm looking specifically at your reaction, Pixie. You look, I don't know whether disgusted or amused.
Both.
Yeah, I'm on the let's ship everyone ship. I love all the little interactions and the different relationships you're all forming between each other. Snotty. So much to do with that boy. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of my own actual boy.
Oh. I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. So I'm Scratticus, this is my channel. I'm going to put a wall of text in the, well, my bot is rather going to put a wall of text in the chat now. This includes all of our social links where you can check us out. It includes all the ways you can support us, including Patreon and merch, and all of our sponsor information. We're very thankful to Bird and the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press for making this possible. They are our official sponsors, and we also have some other discount codes and things like that over there as well. This has been a ton of fun today. A ton of fun. And I am thoroughly looking forward to next week. Next week, we are going to wind forward. I think that makes a beautiful end to that chapter when they present the banner. And I would like next week for us to be on the way to Zamora. Perhaps halfway across the desert towards Zamora. So we can start thinking about things that we might have done on the road between then and now. And I will do a strange thing that I've been doing recently and do some more prep. I know, bizarre, right? We are gonna go and we're gonna go and pay a raid. We are gonna go and visit a friend of the channel, formerly Meteor Zimmer, now role players. We're gonna go and raid them. We're going to go across with our raid cry. Tiliang, do you want to cut your hand? To which the correct response is not particularly. This has been a fantastic session. I've had a wonderful time, and I thank you all very much for coming along on this little journey with me. Players, thank you. You are amazing. I'm thoroughly looking forward to next week. Keep on evoking emotions, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow now. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.